Hi, and welcome to Concussion Talk Podcast. I'm Nick Mercer. This is episode 55. One of the great things about podcasting is that even small podcasts like mine from small places can reach the world. That's how Podcorn, strange name, kind of like the opposite of Popcast, is so helpful to me. Via Podcorn, I can find advertisers that I wouldn't find another way, who want to sponsor Concussion Talk podcast, knowing that no matter where I am, their message will get out to the world. Podcorn is a marketplace connecting podcasters to amazing podcast sponsorship opportunities. There's no middleman, so podcasts of any size can browse and choose opportunities and set their own rates. You never give up rights to your podcast, so you maintain full control and creator freedom. Click on the link in my episode description for more information about Podcorn.
Okay,
great. Thank you. I'm on now with Allie and Felicia. I'm gonna definitely mess it up for some time. I'm gonna say Alicia for sure. And but these two women are with who just started their organization. Keep your head up, and I'll get them to talk more about that. And the general reason I asked them is because that's the first I saw this grow from basically the ground up. I guess you, one or both of you or your nascent organization followed me on Instagram, so I kind of watched this progress. Not watched the whole thing progress, but watch enough of it. So, but to a point now that you are hoping to start your own organization, keep your head up, organization about concussions. So I will get, first of all, Allie or Felicia. I hope I get that get to introduce yourself. So let's start with Allie. Introduce yourselves and talk about what your background, how you got started on this.
So my concussion happened 7 years ago, just before I was about to graduate high school. I was playing rugby, and it just happened during a game when I was tackled, and it appeared to be a mild concussion, but then it ended up taking me quite a long time to be able to go back to school. Like, it was close to a year, and it's kind of affected me ever since, and yeah. I've learned a lot about what it's like to have a brain injury and what supports are available. And I was always planning on going into school to study health sciences, but when my injury happened, it really brought my interest towards brain injury. And so I've been studying at the University of Waterloo, taking health sciences, and I'm just wrapping up my last term now. And so it's kind of been those two things that have brought me to a point where I have started getting involved in concussion awareness and concussion support, and Felicia and I will talk more about what we're up to later.
Great, thanks. Felicia?
Okay, so I got my concussion in December of 2011. I was hit from behind into the boards while playing ringette.
And sorry, in high school or university? Or?
Yeah, sorry, it was in high school, yeah.
Okay.
So same with Allie, I took some time off of school, took like later course loads. It was not fun, but was able to get through high school and then made it into university. Went to University of Waterloo, where I studied public health. I actually went into the field because I was so passionate about making a difference within the concussion community because of how the injury affected me, and I wanted to make a difference for others suffering. So I'm so passionate about it. Again, that's why I said I studied. That's why I went into the field, and I graduated. Took me 5 years, but I graduated in April, and I'm ready to make a difference in the community.
That's great. That's because one of the things that actually the reason I asked you guys want to do on the podcast is I was interested that just like the two of you are. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not old, but I'm older than you two, and I'm fairly older than you. But you guys are both young and passionate about this injury and this condition that can really will disrupt your thought or what you think is your course of life. But how did that affect your your high school and your first few years or your whole time at university? How did having a brain injury and concussion really change what you thought you'd be doing?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, it definitely changed a lot of things. Like I said, I took more time for university, which was no problem at all. It was great, but I made accommodations. I got accommodations where needed. Like I said, again in high school, I took the lighter course
And
loads.
what combinations did you were there are there could you get?
Um, so I was registered with like the uh, University of Waterloo like accessibility services. So that's where you're able to like have more time if needed for like exams, and you write them in like a more quiet room, so you're not as
Okay.
uh, pardon me.
Not, sorry, so you're not as stimulated.
Yeah, you're not as stimulated. Yeah, it's not in like where everyone else writes, and it was a lot. It was very accommodating for how I was feeling. Allie can say how she.
Yeah, so mine was um, tricky because it happened just a couple months before I was supposed to graduate high school,
Oh,
and I was really a gunner and had all these plans dreamed up for what my university path would look like. So when it happened, I was really devastated because all my hard work was kind of shattered, and I wasn't sure if or when I would be able to return to school, and it really made me question like who I was now with my injury. So it was quite a difficult emotional process for me.
right.
A lot of I was really resistant to slowing down, and I had a hard time letting go and watching, friends get ahead of me, and just
Mhm.
kind of feeling like I was stuck behind, like left
Right.
behind.
Yeah.
Right.
And I, because I was so resistant to change, I think I often would start to feel better and then kind of take on too much and then sort of regress backwards. And it
Right.
happened a few times and until I finally was
And it can
forced
be
to,
can be frustrating.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was actually about schooling, but first of all, those people listen to this are not from most people listen to this are not from Canada. So Kitchener, Waterloo, or Waterloo University of Waterloo, where can you just explain? I know there, but I mean, as in most listeners do not. So can you explain where it is in Canada? It's in Canada, but
Yeah.
where?
So it's about an hour away from Toronto. It's we think it's a big city, but it's definitely not. It's a growing place, but our community has the University of Waterloo and also Wilfrid Laurier University. So it's a
Right.
big student town, and
Okay.
there's lots of
Actually, my one of one of my best friends who is actually Kinger. If you can hear me, which you hopefully you can, because now I'm talking about Buddy Kinger. He lives in Kitchener, Waterloo with his wife and three kids at an
Oh.
engineering company there. He's the guy I bike across Canada with, and Gogi as well, but Gogi's not in Kitchener. But and shout out to Rob and Tivo, who I haven't talked to today too, but that's another point. Anyway, yeah, so Kitchener is where Kinger, my buddy Kinger, my bike trip guys, lives. And also, I was going to ask you this: you both went into public health sciences and public health. Is that right?
yeah.
Yes.
And what is the difference between those two? And also, were they your original? And I know you said Felicia, you said your intention was to do health sciences. Is that right or wrong? Allie, that was Allie, right? Anyway, either way,
Yeah.
um, so was your intention always doing the health sciences or public health the whole time you were in high school, or has that changed? And also, what do you learn at in the university at those in those disciplines that really you think is helpful for your organization, your soon to be organization?
All right. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do in high school. Wasn't sure at all. And then in grade 10 is when I had my injury. And then this opportunity kind of got sprung upon, not opportunity, but I mean, like
Yeah. Well, it is an opportunity.
yeah. So I said, oh my goodness, like I'm going to use this maybe as a positive and say, I'm going to go into the field of public health because it's affected me for so long, and I want to make the difference for people so that they can have kind of a different recovery than I've had, in maybe more of a positive light. Allie's health sciences, she can maybe touch on that, but public health is more the social science, and health science, you can
Yeah,
take it
so
away.
if you think of health on a spectrum of like more policy on one end and like the real biology and chemistry on the other, Felicia's program lies a little bit closer to the policy end of things, where mine lies a little bit closer to the sciences, but we both took a mix of everything. Yeah. So we actually took some courses together, which was fun.
Did you know each other in high school?
Yes,
were you friends?
Did.
You went to the same high school?
Or
yeah.
Okay. We went to this high school. We were a year apart, and we knew each other, but we weren't really friends until I think my injury happened, and I kind of reached out to Felicia because I knew that she had already been through it. And when it became obvious that mine wasn't just a typical, like 2-week recovery concussion, I reached out to Felicia because I knew she was the only person that would understand. And our friendship started there, and we've just leaned on each other ever since.
That's great. So how did you decide that you guys wanted to create an organization between you two about concussions or about anything?
So we actually, it was probably one of the first things that we talked about when we started hanging out and supporting each other. But I think back then we were both so immersed in our recovery process and, finishing high school, getting through university, and, it would come up time and time again, and we'd say, oh, we should still do that. And to be honest, for me, my interest in it happened after my injury, but then it did get to a point a few years ago where I didn't want to talk about it. I hated hearing the word concussion or brain injury. I just felt so hopeless about it, and I thought that the idea was kind of like off the table. I wanted to do anything but work in the concussion world. But over the past couple of years, I've come around, and I feel like I'm ready to
take it on.
Yeah. And so Felicia reached out to me in the fall of last year and kind of casually asked if I'd still be up for it, and the rest is history.
I said, let's grab a coffee.
Yeah.
So
nice.
You want to do this?
That's great. That's awesome. So Felicia, I assume you have the same story, or do you have you obviously started differently, but
yeah, I don't know. Mine's always been honestly since that grade 10 year, it's been public health, and then that I want to do this health education, and that I want to get the word education and awareness, support out there. And I don't know, this has literally been my dream since grade 10. So it's just always been, I've always wanted to this has just been my dream goal.
So you did public health with this in mind.
With this in mind, that's why I studied that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Great. So I guess now I can ask you if you guys want to talk about what is your organization, what are your goals, what do you see? Why did you create this organization?
Okay.
Yeah. So since our injuries happened 7 and 9 years ago, it's been a really hot topic
Yeah.
for research and for the medical community and public health in general. And I think we've made really awesome progress in terms of raising awareness about what the signs and symptoms are of a concussion and recognizing why it's important to address. I mean, we still have a long way to go, but there's been a lot of progress. There's a lot of organizations doing that already. But what we've found in our own experiences and what we've continued to find over the past few years is that there are becoming a lot of resources and services that are available to you if you have a brain injury or a concussion, but it can be really hard to find them, and it can be really,
you have to know where to look.
Navigate the system.
And often we don't look until we're in that position, and when we're in that position, we're in crisis mode, and we don't have the ability to be a strong advocate for ourselves and to do a ton of like medical research. So when we decided like what gaps are there that we can fill, we feel that the next step for concussion education is to empower people to understand what is available, so that if they ever find themselves in a position where they need concussion support, they know where to look and they know how to support each other and just are more prepared for the challenges that they might face. We don't feel like we were, and so we want to use everything that we've learned to help make that process a little bit easier for the next.
So we plan on doing that through like an education program that we want to implement in like schools and with sports teams and to parents. And we understand that parents, coaches, and teachers, it's just as important for the youth and people to know, but it's just as important for the older individuals as well to understand. So like that's one aspect of the education program, is like one aspect of our program that we want to get rolling. Another aspect is the social media platform that I'm sure you know about. It's on Instagram, it's Keep Your Head Up, KW right now. But that's where we wanted to create a positive social community where people who are, having a bad day, or even if you just need some positive, like uplifting hope through your journey, you can turn to our page and like get that reassurance that like everything is going to be okay. And we share like tips and tools and like different strategies that we have found like to be really helpful throughout our journeys through recovery that we found and we hope that can be helpful for others suffering. And then our last little part of our program is our community events.
Yeah, so one of the things that we found in our own recovery process is that it's a time where you really need social support for getting through some really difficult times. But the recovery process itself can be really isolating because there's not a lot that you can do. Most activities are too stimulating, and it can just be really hard to get meaningful social interactions and honestly to find opportunities to get out of the house. So we are going to be organizing community events here in Kitchener-Waterloo to start that are accessible to most people recovering from concussions. And some of the things we have in mind are like going for a light hike or doing a baking class, or perhaps taking one of my yoga classes, which we'll talk more about later. Yeah. But these events will mostly just be to really create a sense of community among people going through similar struggles, but it doesn't necessarily have to be an activity where we're talking about our concussions the entire time, but it will be a safe space to do that if someone feels like they need to.
So is the focus of your organization mostly going to be raising awareness and education, or is it going to be support, or is it just a mix of whatever you think is most needed in that situation? Because it sounds, I think it's great. I mean, the way you're doing it was amazing, and it sounds like the your focus, your target audience is are the people who are not injured, who have not experienced a concussion or brain injury yet, and those are I know would have been very hard to. I know I was. I mean, it wasn't a big deal when I was brain injured. It wasn't just concussion and brain injury weren't as prominent forces there now, but then I know if I was going to go through a session like when I was playing Waterloo or doing a triathlon, if I had to go through a session about, if you're ever concussed or brain injured, I'd be like, okay, this is fine, but I'm not really gonna. I should learn. I should know this stuff, but I'm not expecting it. Not really gonna. If I was to hand out forms, I'd be just put them in the locker somewhere and forget of them. So, do you guys have a plan for how you're going to really just want to make people know, like, to take in what you're saying? And I know, I guess a good way to do that is also through events, as you're saying. Is that so? You're gonna have events that are not necessarily for brain injured people or for people for only brain injured and concussed people, but also for the general public who need to know this stuff, and who need to pay attention to this stuff more than the people who are in that situation. Because, well, as you said, once you're in that situation, then your mind is not when you're injured, your mind is not focused on that. Your mind is focused on surviving
Right.
and just organizing yourself.
So,
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead, Felicia. Or,
So our education program would be focused on, pardon me, would be focused, sorry, would be,
no,
sorry, would be focused on educating those who like may have been concussed, may not be concussed, but just targeting like general education and awareness
For everyone.
for everyone. Just going
yeah.
into schools, sports teams, those who may get concussed. But our community events would be those who are injured and who are like suffering from brain injuries.
Oh,
Our
okay.
online support can be anybody who ever wants to follow us, learn more. Like, even if you don't have a brain injury and just want some positive inspiration, like, I'm sure you can read our, for example, Wisdom Wednesdays
Yeah.
and like get something positive
I
out
know
of that.
those are great. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
Our goal
I
is
know Brandon because the question was rambling, so I wonder about
Sorry, no,
answering. No, like my question was off. Who knows where it was going? But
our goal with all of it is to inform as many people as possible so that when an individual is affected by concussion, either they themselves know or someone in their circle knows what they need to do and knows how to support them. And we feel that through the education program, we can start to increase that sense of awareness among the general population.
yeah.
And then we also want our social media platform to sort of start to spread those ideas as well. And then our community events will just sort of be one of the many different services or activities that we would recommend to people who come seeking our support if they find themselves
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. That's excellent. And I mean, that's like raising awareness online and wherever you can. So like I think it's a great is all you can do really until we really realize that we have to know this stuff before we have to know about concussion and brain injury, not say prevention but treatment and what you should do, and we have to know that before we actually brain injury and concuss. But the humans don't don't want to necessarily pay attention to that until it's needed really, and
yeah.
you think it's needed and it's needed now, but if you're not immediately affected personally. But I think a great way to do that, like I said, is your events, your hikes, and I don't know what else you can do except for I know Allie, right? It is Allie, not Felicia, who's doing the You'll Love Your Brain yoga training this summer.
Allie.
Allie?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you want to talk about that? Do you teach yoga now?
Yeah, so I did my yoga teacher training last fall, and it was actually for totally personal reasons. I wanted to learn how to keep using yoga to kind of rehabilitate my body and continue reaping the benefits that it was having on my mental health. And I didn't actually have any intention of going on to teach, but my yoga teacher training process ended up being a really really healing method for me to sort of get through some of those mental health challenges that I was having from my concussion. And while I was doing it, I started thinking like, man, I really wish there was some sort of yoga program for people with concussions, so I didn't have to figure this all out myself. And I started doing some research, and I came across Love Your Brain, and I was blown away because someone had already gathered all the evidence and figured out a way to do it safely, which were both things that would be important to me if I were to take something like that on. And so as soon as I graduated my yoga teacher training, I applied, and I'm heading there at the end of this month. And for anyone who doesn't know what Love Your Brain is, it is a yoga program that was developed by it's an organization that came from an Olympic snowboarder who had a severe brain injury and found meditation and yoga to be really healing for him. And so this 6-week yoga series was born for people recovering from brain injuries or concussions and their caregivers as well. And it's free to those people who are using it. And it just provides an accessible way for people who would really benefit from things like yoga and meditation to be able to do it.
Right.
And I was really excited about it because at the time, Felicia and I weren't doing this. And I thought it would be a really great way to give back and start supporting people who are going through journeys that are very similar to what I have been through. And the fun thing about teaching a yoga class is that there's opportunities for you to sort of weave through your own experiences and your own wisdom when you create a meditation experience. And so I thought it'd be a really cool way for me to offer what I've learned to others. And yeah, so we're going to be bringing that in as part of Keep Your Head Up. It is just coming to our region this summer, and I'll be getting involved with that. Okay. But yeah, I'll have more details once I'm
just you do the course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Felicia, do you used to play any of your sports, ringette or soccer, right?
No, I did play a little bit of intramural soccer just because I wanted to get back out there. I missed playing so much. But no, I haven't been able to I played intramurals during my undergrad. But I've been skating but I haven't been able to play ringette again. I think it would just be too much contact, and I mean it's not supposed to be contact, but
no,
it's just I think it'd be too much for me, which it sucks. But yeah, no, unfortunately.
Well, that's exciting though about the yoga program. Or Felicia, are you do you do yoga or do you practice yoga? Do you practice yoga or are you done with Allie?
I have not. So no. Allie is going to take me because I think it would be really beneficial for my healing process as well. So she's yet to take me, but she's got to take me and show me how it's done because I think I could really benefit from it.
Yeah, we'll do a little case study on it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was about to end the conversation, but I didn't ask you guys. One of the most important questions is what challenges do you find are the most for you individually? So, Allie, what do you find are your biggest challenges, if you don't mind speaking about them?
No, not at all. One of the major things that got in my way after, which took a long time to be sorted out, was my vision. My
I have
um
double vision, so
yeah,
I'm with that.
yeah, my
It sucks.
eyes converged. Yeah, I feel, yeah. It it makes it really difficult to read and to be in stimulating environments and to be in like a university lecture, and it's just really changed the way that I learn, and something which is something that's really important to me. So that's been really tough, and I've tried all sorts of different vision therapies, but nothing has really seemed to stick. So that's something that I'm still getting used to. Um, my Most of my other symptoms have subsided for the most part, but I can still get, like, if I'm in class all day, I know that the rest of my day has to kind of be less stimulating so that I can recharge and be ready to go back the next day.
Is that what you use yoga for, or do you like just
Yeah,
sit in a room and read, or you like yoga? Do you?
anything but reading.
Oh, oh yeah, trying to fit.
Yeah, but yeah, yoga is something that I was able to use because my balance was really impacted,
Yeah,
and my body just, like, after many years of not being able to do any exercise, it just got so weak. And both that and then just feeling disconnected from it just made me really hate any sort of movement. But I tried
oh,
yoga, and my doctor kept telling me that it would help, so I kept going back to it even though I hated it at first. And then I found it to be, it's just gentle enough that it can start building strength back and can start building balance back, which is what I really liked about it.
great. Yeah,
And now it's something that I can turn to when I'm feeling really overwhelmed with anxiety, or just like struggling with motivation. I know that I'm kind of just one yoga class away from feeling better, which
that's
is
good.
really,
That's excellent.
but I would encourage, so if anyone is thinking about trying yoga and they haven't done it before, give yourself a few classes to try it before you make a decision, because once your body gets used to the type of movements that you're doing, then you'll start to experience the meditative, relaxing benefits of it. So give it a chance.
Great advice. And so, Felicia, what symptoms or what do you find? What did you find, or do you still find most challenging from after your concussion?
I just find most challenging that I'm just a really type A personality. Like, I need to just go, 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 and I honestly just never know when to stop, kind of thing.
And that didn't
And
change.
and well, that really affects, like, I wear like wear myself out because I just like, and then if I can't do what I used to be able to do in a day, or like I have to alter what I'm doing. Like, if I, for example, was walking around the streets on, like, spent a day walking in Toronto, and then
Yeah,
I expected to like watch a movie that night, like I couldn't. I would be like fried, kind of thing. So like I have to alter my days and every, like, I just can't do as much as I expect myself to do. And like it's been a challenge to have to adapt to that, because I push myself really hard and like expect myself to do, like, I set these really high standards for myself all the time and expect myself to always like do it, but I feel like crap like halfway through the day, and then yeah, so it's just like symptoms come on. Like, I suffer from like a headache every day. I've suffered from like 9 years for headaches every day. So it's yeah, it's just tough having to adjust, and like, just because I'm I don't know, a busybody, a go-getter, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. Yeah.
But
So yeah.
yeah, it's I think it's great that you, with all these challenges, you guys actually are getting involved, and with your policy and science backgrounds, you're getting involved in this discipline of the discipline, this sphere brain injury, concussion, and what you can do to alleviate some of the pressures and
Thanks.
the pain some people are going through. But yeah, so I know you guys are now on I find it on Instagram, but so if is there else where people can find you? Is there any hard location for people to find you? For
We
people
are
in anywhere? Any this physical location, or is it
we
just online?
oh
Sorry.
well we're working on a website, so
Hi.
that's getting up and running, and we'll soon, hopefully, and we'll post about that. And then
In terms of having a physical space, we're working on it.
that's
Yeah.
also in the works, so
No, it's
we'll let
just
you. It'll be
no.
posted when we do. It's something's brewing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So right now, for right now, for anybody who wants to reach out and find anyone in Kitchener, Waterloo, or anywhere around who's going to be there this summer, say, when Allie, you're back from Vancouver and you're teaching yoga and when you're doing your walks,
Hmm.
um, where can people find out more about you online? I know if I found you on Instagram, how can they find you there or on anywhere else?
Yeah, the best way to reach us right now is through our Instagram and our email. We have our email listed on our bio. Our Instagram is at Keep Your Head Up KW, and our website should be up and running in the next couple of weeks, which we will post on our Instagram.
And it should just be keep your head up. Hopefully, keepyourheadup.com.
Something.
We're hoping for that one.
Yeah,
So,
go for that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks so much. And I mean, is there anything else you'd like to add that I skipped over that I forgot to mention or ask you about that you would like to bring up?
No, I think that's great. I think we covered it all.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being part of this podcast, and I really hope people in southwestern Ontario or Kitchener Waterloo especially reach out and find you guys and finding go to Allie, go to your yoga classes when they're available,
Yeah.
and good luck
Thank
with your schooling first the school year now, and so Allie, you have to do exams, right? So it's you. I'm wishing luck for schooling, right? Or Felicia? Who am I
Allie.
wishing luck for schooling?
Allie.
Oh,
Allie? Okay, well,
Allie.
good luck. And
Thank,
Felicia, thank you.
thanks for having
And
us.
thank you so much.
Hmm.
Thank you all for listening. And please remember that you can find more podcasts, my blogs, and my ebook at concussiontalk.com. Concussion Talk podcast is presented by HeadCheck Health. HeadCheck Health bridges the gaps in concussion care through simple, powerful technology. Join organizations like the Canadian Football League, Track Factory Racing, the Canadian Junior Hockey League, Eastern Washington University, and Volleyball Canada, who rely on HeadCheck Health to improve communication and optimize care. Visit headcheckhealth.com for more. Music at the beginning of this podcast is by Ben Sound. www.bensound.com.